let's actually talk for 2 minutes real quick about Suns Mavs so that the Suns Twitter and the Mavs Twitter don't get on us.
Suns Twitter loves us, so we have to keep them happy.
They're probably not very happy with me. Have they been ripping me? I don't really look, so I don't know.
They in general, the Suns rip the national media. Yeah. That's just basically what it is.
And we talk about them a lot.
They upset me last night.
The Suns Twitter did? Or the
Suns team.
Oh, why?
I didn't like some of the stuff at the end as much as I love Devin Booker. Love Devin Booker.
Yeah.
I don't like holding the follow through exaggerated amount of time up 30.
Yeah.
I just don't like that kind of stuff. You know, he did it twice in a row. You know, just standing there holding it well after the ball's through the net or like taking it out of bounds. He's still standing there. I feel like a guy like that, I feel like should be above that.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I feel like, and I'm not saying a guy that just got in, that's on the end of their bench, that got some time in a playoff game at the end is going to do that, obviously. But I just feel like, all right, man, make your shot, run back. And that thing got out. I mean, that really escalated to take a line from Anchorman. Really escalated quickly out there. I mean, a guy got killed with a trident last night. I watched it. Right? I mean, it really, because it was like a 6-point game, then it was 25.
Yeah.
And Devin was part of that. And I don't know, I just didn't like the over-exaggerated. There was look, I don't even mind all the talking. There was a lot of talking. It's clear that they do, you know, they're going at Luka so hard on defense, and they're talking to him the whole game, and they're trying to get in his head because they know he is the entire show, and they're trying to, like, whatever they can. And I totally cool with that. It's fine. I just felt like you guys are the number one seed. You're the best record in the league. You lost in the finals last year. You have greater aspirations than winning a game against the Dallas Mavericks in the first round where you're getting all this strutting and posing and posturing. I don't know. To me, it just – and it's not going to affect the way I cover them or what I predict, because I love their team. I love the way they play. Absolutely love it. I just didn't like that. It's like you're 2 games in to this whole ride. You know what I mean? I shouldn't say that. They won the first round, but I mean 2 games into this series, like, all right, man, just – enough with that. It's a blowout. Let's just win the game, get on to the next game. I don't know. I wasn't a fan of that.
I will take sort of the opposite approach here, and this is coming from someone who has held up their fair share of follow-throughs in regular season games. I think I've sort of changed again, at Duke, I was out of control with this, and then I kind of was like, maybe I shouldn't show emotion on the court, and maybe I shouldn't talk shit. You know, I think that changed, and a lot of it changed with my just general understanding of what it is we do, which is we entertain, which is why I have no problem with Draymond being the gladiator in the arena and embracing the villain role. I think it's fucking hilarious. Yeah. I really do. I don't have a problem with Ja Morant dancing while Desmond Bain is shooting a step at 3 because it's part of who he is. Yep. I get that. And with Devin in particular, like, part of who he is, we've talked about it a bunch on the pod. We talk to guys that talk shit. We talk to Kevin Durant. We talk to Joel Embiid. Who talks the most shit in the NBA? Devin Booker. Like, that's part of who he is. And so, like, if a player is acting out of nature, then I'm kind of questioning, like, what's going on here? But if it's in a player's nature and that's part of what gets him to tick, then I'm good with it. And look, we can talk about sportsmanship. That's a whole separate conversation. But I hope you understand what I'm saying there.
100%. Yeah. And look, and honestly, it's probably even more valid because you are, just out of the league. I've been out of the league a long time. So, my perspective of certain things is going to be a little bit different than yours with regard to that. I just felt like watching them and Suns fans, listen up. My first points in the NBA were scored in a Phoenix Suns uniform.
That's right.
So I have been praising your team nonstop all year. You've been, by a wide margin, the best team in the league. It's not close. They're on a shelf by themselves all season. The Warriors getting whole, getting Clay back healthy, and then this component of Jordan Poole, what he has become is kind of why now I look at them and I say, I kind of think they can get to the finals. I love everything about the Suns. I just, in the moment last night watching it, I felt like it was almost like the year that the Wizards won a first-round series and they put onto the second-round T-shirts after the game, right? And you're kind of like, all right, man, and almost understood it in that situation because it's like, there's no track record there as an organization. And, but it's like at the same time, it's okay. If you're really playing for something bigger within the moment, it's not as big. And look, don't get me wrong. He hits that shot to go up 1 inside of a minute, and they take time out. Hold that thing the entire time out. Stand out there for 3 minutes, and dude don't even go over to the bench, right? I get it. And when you talk about yourself doing it, it was more in the moments I just described. That's a big – you're not doing that up 25, JJ. You're not holding that up 25 in a regular season game or a playoff game.
Where does this Chris Paul stretch rank? Well,
I don't want to belabor this point.
Okay.
I just want to. This is something I've been thinking about ever since the T-Wolves jumped on the scores table, and I gave a very passionate take on this podcast about it. And I've been thinking about it a lot since, and I think about like in baseball, you win one wild card game and they go nuts and they throw champagne. Your Michigan is ranked 5th in the country. They go play an unranked Wisconsin team in Madison. They win the game. Wisconsin is 7-11 in the conference, and they storm the floor. For some reason, like the NBA is held to a different standard with this, and I don't want to belabor it, but I just want to make that observation when we talk about how our group of athletes is sort of allowed or not allowed, like what is appropriate to celebrate, what is not appropriate to celebrate. It's across nearly every other sport, like you acknowledge sort of the small victories along the way. And for some reason, like we're trapped in this ring culture where we can't celebrate unless it's like a championship.
I have to just make
and you
one
can disagree with it. But
no, I don't actually. And I think what you just got me to realize was maybe I didn't articulate why it bothered me last night. I don't think it is even what I just said. I really you guys you're playing for something bigger. You know what it really was? You are clearly so much better than the team you're playing.
That's a fact.
That's really I think more for me what it was.
Yeah.
Like if he did that exact same thing in the conference finals against Golden State, I definitely would not have nearly as much a problem with it. Yeah. This is now two heavyweights. You're looking at each other in the eye. This is the team. This is the brand of the NBA.
Your ass.
We're about to kick your ass. Yeah. And this is important for us to get this opportunity to not only get to the finals and finish the deal we didn't last year, but it's to get past you, specifically Golden State. I just would have much less problem. This is a team in Dallas that we talked about yesterday. It's more like a one-man band. You can't beat a great team that way, as great as Luka is. They're so much better than Dallas. That, I think, actually is probably why it bothered me more. It's almost like, and I know it's professional sports, but it's almost like, it's like you're a bully. You're picking on this team. They can't beat you. You're up 25, and here we are.
Yeah.